umbrella. She's up. Whole nother level of shit you can't even understand. Like quicksand, nigga, you sinking.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another episode of the Forecast back on this Monday. You can go to the Forecast, be a part of the show, a part of the discussion. And it's the same old story. It's no trying to convince these people. They know the shit is going on. Right? In the 50s, they said the same thing as they say today. They don't even come up with new arguments. It's not a way of arguing with them. I use it as a way of spreading knowledge amongst ourselves. Spreading information. Especially on the social media when they try to troll on your accounts. Use what they say to spread information to other people who may not know the information. So y'all can politic on that. Don't just be offended or whatever by whatever they say. Use it as an opportunity to spread knowledge to your people. Because obviously a lot of our people still do need this psychological help. We suffer from Stockholm syndrome. We wasn't no goddamn slaves. We was kidnapped victims. Right? Slavery is okay in America still today. Right? Because it says if you're convicted of a crime, you can still be a slave. Or you can volunteer and be a slave, which is basically the working every fucking day doing 9 to 5s, where the motherfuckers at the top is getting paid all the money and you getting the crumbs. That's voluntary servitude. So slavery is still in effect in America. Slavery is okay throughout the world. It's not illegal. However, kidnapping is illegal in America and the world. You know, slavery is not even illegal in the damn Bible. There's rules to slavery in the Bible. But kidnapping is illegal. It's never legal in the Bible to kidnap. We wasn't no goddamn slaves. We was kidnapped victims. And, you know, it's funny with all these incidents going on. Then movies like Get Out. People are stuck in the sunken place. Like, I can't imagine being in the sunken place. I just never have been, luckily. I don't know what it was about me. I just was always a skeptic of everything, I guess. I just questioned, like, why? I was one of those why kids. You know, I just didn't believe it or disbelieve it. I just asked why. And if it made sense, it made sense. If it didn't, it didn't. But a lot of us are stuck in that goddamn sunken place and can't really see it. And incidents like what happened the other day with the coach of the Warriors, Mike Brown, who's taking Steve Kerr's place. Right? He couldn't even see it, and he experienced it. Greg Popovich, coach, he been outspoken. You know what I'm saying? I think he's down for the cause. I think he's cool as a bitch. But he couldn't see it. And I want you to hear this uncomfortable ass interview that Mike Brown did talking about nearly getting arrested, just going to work.
Yeah, I'm a couple of minutes late. So I was driving here, had my son and a couple of friends in my car. I have a black Range Rover, and we're exiting the off ramp. I look through my rear view. I tell my son, because my son loves Coach Pop, and you know Coach Pop known him for a long time, and I said, Cam, the Spurs are behind us, and he goes, how do you know? I say, there's a police escort, motorcycles in front of him. It was okay. So one motorcycle zooms and gets at, the red light that you got to turn left when you exit off the X ramp, pauses there and tells everybody to get through. So my buddy's like, oh, you got to thank the Spurs for that part. So I'm like, okay, cool. So go to the next red light and more cops come. So now the bus is right up on us. More cops come and they're like, get through. And this is kind of helping us out. So we're helping me out because, I got double R breathing down my neck. And so then we get to the part where you're about to turn right to go through the big gates where the last red light. And so, the cop's like, get through. I'm like, man, this is great. I didn't have to stop for any of these red lights. So I literally start to go, and I'm going to get in the far left lane, right, to go through where we all go through. And a cop out of nowhere pulls in front of me and goes, hey, you, stop. I'm like, Warriors acting coach? He's like, I don't care. Hey, you stop. So I'm like feeling myself a little bit. I'm like, hey, I'm not getting bullied by either Oakland PD or San Francisco PD. Like my own building, my own parking lot. So I start to go a little bit, and another one pulls up. Hey, you heard him, stop. So I'm like, okay, I'm on a motorcycle, right? If I like scoot a little closer, they got to get scared because I know I would get scared from a car and a motorcycle. So I start scooting forward. And then an SUV pulls up, PD. And I hear him over there loud, their speaker. Hey, you in the Range Rover, stop. It's right now. You heard the officer, stop. So then I got scared. I was like, I got 5 cops around here. So I just stopped. And I said, I'm just trying to get to the game. I'm late. So I let the bus go and the 18 cops. And I'm going around behind the bus, and I get this phone call. Greg Popovich, San Antonio Spurs. So I answer the phone, and Pop is dying. He goes, Mikey, I didn't know that was you. He goes, I'm sitting here. I see this black Range Rover. I see all these cops surrounding him. I see the car trying to inch forward. I'm like, he's about to get arrested. I said, Pop, this is my own building. And he goes, I know. When I saw it was you, I died laughing. So that's why I'm late. Sorry.
All right, so this African American here. All right, first of all, this dude had his kid in the car, and it would have been very hard to defend this dude if he got shot up. All right, we would have had his back as a black man, even though he's probably strikes me as one of those black men who say, well, I'm against Black Lives Matter. One of those actively against Black Lives Matter kind of black dudes. And we still would have had his back in an incident like that because that shit is wrong. But this motherfucker inching forward to the cops, got his kids in the car, all of that shit. But the point is, this dude is describing just the experience. Active Warriors head coach. Look, I'm Mike Brown. I'm the coach. I'm show you with me and Steph Curry right here. Motherfuckers, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You fucking stop, nigga. It's the same old thing. I don't see what the hell is funny at all about this damn story. Right? At his own job, at his own parking lot, dude's getting stopped by the cops, harassed. And the thing is, he can't even see it because we all have the same experience. It would be a funny story if it just happened to him and it just so happened to go that way. But it happens all the time, and his ass is goddamn lucky he ain't fucking dead right now. On some real shit. There have been black people who have done far less that is fucking dead behind some shit like that. And, it's one thing to keep talking about these kinds of incidents, and it's another thing to start doing something about it. Right? Because like I said before, this is the best time that we have ever had in America as black people. And to say that it is not would be disrespectful to all the accomplishments and the things that our ancestors did. The fact that we even had a black president, no matter if he could say he's black or not. The fact that he got in trouble actually for saying, well, Trayvon would have looked like me if I had a son. Which is actual true statement. He probably would look like you. But he got all kind of backlash. They blame goddamn racism on him now. And the point is, we living in a country where they would try to convince you that, well, Obama wouldn't be president if it wasn't for white people. However, ask them, did Obama win the white vote either time that he ran? Ask him, did he win the white women vote in either time that he ran? Even though he did all sorts of things for them. They put white women in the category of minority. And then say they doing things for minority. Trying to say black people. Well, guess what? We have women. Black women exist. We don't need to put white women with black women's struggles. That shit is a whole nother thing. right? If you want to put the struggle of women, you could say black women alone, right? You want to talk about rape culture. Black women experienced the real rape culture. All black people did, especially black women experienced rape culture, where a white man can just come into your whatever you called your home, the fucking shack he let you live outside in the back end, come in anytime you want, fuck your wife right there in front of you and your kids. And it ain't shit you can do about it. And if you do, I'm gonna whip your ass in front of your wife and your kids. Eventually, that kind of stuff start weighing into your psyche. And you come out with the kind of societies that we have now, but we can easily reverse it. And it's a reason why things are the way they are, why they affect people the way that they do. I'm not saying that they aren't doing the same, they're not doing the same thing to white people. I'm not saying that white people, especially poor white people, don't have struggles in any kind of way. Nobody's ever said that when people talk about it. And we know that. But the point is, black people, what they don't realize is they're fighting to have the same struggles that white people have. That's not a fucking progress. Racism was a part to keep white people down too. So that a certain population, which happen to be European or happen to be white, are in control. That's not to say all white people are like this. But it's easily misconstrued to go that way. And a lot of the white citizens enjoy a certain privilege and believe the hype. Over hundreds of years, you start believing your own bullshit. I believe they start making up all of this bullshit just to justify slavery. Because before then, slavery was illegal. You couldn't enslave another Christian. They were giving black Christians freedom. Right? You can go to court saying, well, I did my time as a slave. I'm a Christian now. I've accepted the ways of the Englishmen. And you were granted freedom from servitude until they start making it illegal just to be black. And then they start saying all kinds of shit and call you all kinds of violent. And it's always been this kind of sexual dominance over these people. White women have had it over black men. White men have had it over black women. And at the end of the day, we have to realize where that comes from. That comes from greed. That comes from wanting to be in control of everything. What is money? Money is not green pieces of paper. It is the natural resources. But when you start talking like that, what place is the most wealthy when it comes to natural resources? That is Africa. Africa and its people, which has been getting exploited to the point where it's destroying the planet. And we have to understand that. And we arguing over black people this, black people that. Well, you know what? If we were in control of our own lands, our own everything, our own government, our own children, we would have a damn say in the world. Then you can go to the UN like Malcolm X wanted to do. Then you can start going to the UN with your arguments. Because you got a fucking nation to back you. We don't have a damn nation. We're the only group of people without a nation. And first we have to start collectively at home by building our own nation here, by having each other's back, by running for offices to control the policies in your area, by focusing on the economic plans, by coming together and having meetings of the mind to see what we can do. We can do all of this shit ourselves, or we can keep complaining. It's up to you. I don't know what you want to do.
I mean, as I sit here on the eve of, excuse me, on the eve of one of the greatest sporting events that we have in sports. You know, race and what's going on comes again, and on my behalf and my family's behalf. But I mean, I look at it as this. I mean, if this is to shed a light and continue to keep the conversation going on my behalf, then I'm okay with it. You know, my family is safe. At the end of the day, they're safe, and that's the most important. But it just goes to show that that racism will always be a part of the world, a part of America. And you know, hate, you know, in America, especially for African American, is living every day. And even though that, you know, that it's concealed most of the time, even though people hide their faces and will say things about you, and when they see you, they smile in your face. It's alive every single day. And I think back to Emmett Till's mom, actually. It's kind of one of the first things I thought of. And the reason that she had an open casket is because she wanted to show the world what her son went through as far as a hate crime and, you know, being black in America. So it's like, it doesn't, no matter how much money you have, no matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, you know, being black in America is tough, and we got a long way to go, you know, for us as a society and for us as African Americans until we feel equal in America. And
after 9 hours of deliberating, the jury cleared Officer Betty Shelby of manslaughter in the shooting death of Terrence Crutcher. Officer Shelby maintained she shot Crutcher out of fear when she thought he was reaching inside his SUV for what she believed was a gun. Fox 23's Preston Jones was reporting from the courthouse this time yesterday. He stayed there all day and all night until the verdict was read around 9:30. He's live with how both Shelby and Crutcher's families reacted when they heard not guilty.
That verdict was good news for Betty Shelby, but certainly not the outcome that the Crutcher family was hoping for in this case. After the verdict, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, Terrence Crutcher's sister, said that this trial exposed the corruption within the Tulsa Police Department.
Betty Shelby was the aggressor. Betty Shelby had the gun. Betty Shelby was following him with his hands up. Betty Shelby murdered my brother, and after she murdered my brother, all of the officers involved with the Tulsa Police Department tried to cover for her.
Some strong words by Dr. Tiffany Crutcher. Betty Shelby and her attorneys left the courthouse right after the verdict without giving any interviews. Shelby's attorney told the Associated Press that Shelby is elated with the verdict, very proud of her jury, and ready to move on with her life. A handful of Shelby's family was on the front row during the verdict. Several dozen Crutcher family members filled nearly half of the courtroom. In the next hour, I'm working on what the Crutcher family now has to say about the future, and also working through the emotions we felt inside the courtroom after the judge read that verdict. Live downtown, covering news that matters. I'm Preston Jones, Fox 23 News.
The jury asked the judge 2 questions before delivering their verdict after deliberating for 9 hours. This is video of the jurors leaving the courthouse, surrounded by deputies. They asked the judge about how they could deliver the verdict and if they could explain how and why they reached it. The judge told them they could not give a statement with their verdict.
3 major developments surfaced today in the wake of Betty Shelby's acquittal in the shooting death of Terrence Crutcher. 2 Works For You reporter Ashley Holt explains the jury's response and Officer Shelby's emotional interview days after the encounter.
I don't know if he has a gun. I'm scared that he's got a gun in his pocket.
It's raw and emotional.
Stop! Stop right now! You need to stop!
I've probably represented close to 100 police officers over the last 20 years that have been involved in shootings, and I would say at least half of them most of them male, cry when they get to the point where they pull the trigger and take someone's life.
He didn't stop. I thought he was going for a gun. And I took a target. And I shot him in the side.
He was shot for a reason, and a very good reason.
I thought he was going to kill me.
In an open letter, the 12 jurors who set Betty Shelby free agree the shooting was justified.
To me, it shows that they recognized the gravity of this case.
But the jurors did question the moments leading up to the fatal shot.
If she was that afraid, why was she following him still? And why did she wait for backup?
And the jury explained what was critical to its decision, that it could not, beyond a reasonable doubt, say Shelby did anything she wasn't trained to do.
Our laws give police officers the right to perceive a threat and to use force. And that's a problem in itself.
I want people to remember that Officer Shelby is a human being. She is a human being that took another life and was put in a undoubtedly difficult situation.
And Betty Shelby is also a human being who still has a job. The Tulsa Police Department announcing today she will continue working there, but will not be used in a patrol capacity. Ashley Holt, 2 Works for You.
And in its letter, the jury also said it did not recommend Shelby become an officer again.
I must tell you, I watched the shooting in particular in Tulsa. And that man was hands up. That man went to the car, hands up, put his hand on the car. I mean, to me, it looked like he did everything you're supposed to do. And he looked like a really good man. And maybe I'm a little clouded because I saw his family talking about him after the fact. So you get a little bit, different image maybe. But to me, he looked like somebody that was doing what they were asking him to do. And this young officer, I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know what she was thinking. But I'm very, very troubled by that. I'm very, very troubled by that. And we have to be very careful. So, I mean, these things are terrible. That was, in my opinion, that was a terrible situation. And we've seen others. And the police are aware of that too. By the way, the police are troubled by it too. They look at it. Now, did she get scared? Was she choking? What happened? But maybe people like that, people that choke, people that do that, maybe they can't be doing what they're doing, okay? They can't be doing what they're doing.
Yo, I got big plans, I got big dreams. Guess it's safe to say a nigga in the big things. Poppin', my 16s dropping. Bar still a nigga like I'm in the ring boxing. If rap was a car lot, I see it then I'm riding. Y'all call the dealer up, can I lease it with an option? I smash all rookies, even seasoned vets. My flow will blow your mind, pull that Caesar out your neck. Like, what did he expect? Yo, I'm power made flesh. Life ain't a promise, so I gotta be a threat. I could walk through the flames and won't drop a bead of sweat. They never see me coming, that's the modesty of death. If I send your bitch a request, she gon' probably accept. But I show respect, only skied it on her breast. She tell you I'm the best, and writing all the checks. Now try and save whatever shred of dignity is left. What you gonna do? Big cars, big chains. It ain't the money, it's the shit that it brings. What would you do for the fame? It ain't the money, it's the shit that it brings. Some niggas live for the paper, what you gonna do? Some niggas live to puff an air, what you gonna do? Some niggas go and get they homies, what you gonna do? Some niggas do it by themselves, what you gonna do? I'm looking it for the money like I lost it. Break a bunch of cookies till one say a fortune. Hustle game flawless, they buying if I sell it. So if I bought a portion, it was the 911. My nigga, put your bet in. If doors go to heaven, then I guess that make me lucky number 11. That umbrella shuffle got your team up in the huddle. Money in the pocket, green up in the duffel, burner on the hip, K up in the whip, raw fifth in the palm of A nigga that I'm with. And we just came to party. Call my man 6, cause he coming off the bench if them bitch niggas started. Graduated high school, then I went in straight to the league. With no crossover, had bitches scraping their knees. Told niggas I would take MVP, but then niggas try to front, so I make them believe. What you gonna do?
Alright, and we back on the forecast. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.